So for the first exercise in lesson one, uh, we're going to go into the main app now, and I want you to convert utils.js to utils.typescript and solve all the errors that you're going to see in the file. So add types to functions where necessary and resolve all of the implicit any errors that will be present. Pause the video now, and when you return, we'll take up the solution together. So I'm going to jump now over to the project here, and I'm going to go into the app, and we're going to go to source, and we're going to go into utils.js here, and I'm going to rename that to utils.ts. Perfect. And right away, you can see we get a number of errors. Some of them are much easier to solve than others. So first of all, let's first take a look at this get Pokemon name. So what is this? This is a function that gets a Pokemon as an argument, accesses the name property, and returns it. So if we were to use some logic here, this is definitely an object, which has the property name. And this is where we can just be sensible. I'm assuming it's of type string. The rest of the project is still in JavaScript, so whatever we type here isn't really going to apply to the rest of the project yet where this function is actually being used, so we've got some wiggle room. Now, if I remove this here for a second and we just say it's an object, property name does not exist on empty objects. So let's go back here and make sure we add that string. Now get stat base value. So Pokemon stat, so it's an object again. And this time it looks like it's got a base stat property. So at base stat, and if it's a stat, a statistic, I'm going to assume that's a number. But number or string works here. Get stat name. So this one's a little bit different. We can see it's an object, but it's an object with an object in it. So, okay. So we've got our Pokemon stat. That's an object. You can see here it's got the property stat. And that is also an object, which has the property name, which we'll assume is going to be of the type string. Perfect. Get primary type. Okay, so this is a big function. This one's quite hard, and we're going to have to work through this like type piece by piece. So first of all, if we look at Pokemon, where are we using Pokemon? Well, we're using it here, and we can see Pokemon has a .types property. So we're going to say this is an object with a types property. For now, I'm just going to say this is any. I want to look at the rest. So where are we using types? So we're doing primary types, types.find. Well, I know find is an array method, so let's say this is an array of any. But we've got this type here. So types is an array of Pokemon types, which has the slot property. So to me, this is an array of objects that at the very least have this slot property. And it looks like we're comparing it to a number, so I would assume that's a number. And if we go, so primary type is now of this Pokemon type. So if we go down here, primary type has a slot property, but it looks like it also needs a type property. So we go type, and type is an object, and that object has a name, which will go to string again. All right, if that feels insane, it's because it definitely is. You would very rarely type objects like this, where you're doing it inline in an argument like this. We'll have better tools in our tool belt in later videos. And keep in mind, this is also the objects that we get back from the Pokemon API. So it's not like I intentionally made these difficult, but we'll be working with them more in depth. However, I hope this gave you some time to kind of flex your new TypeScript muscles and understand and really think about the types and the values that we're working with and how that would translate into the types that we've learned here.